What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to look at 4 rehab exercises for shoulder impingement. This is a type of pain that's very common in physical therapy. It tends to happen here on the kind of top and side of the shoulder and can sometimes go down the shoulder. It's an issue that affects structures that run into the subacromial space, which is right underneath this bone. So it can involve one of our rotator cuff tendons, a bursa, and our bicep tendon. So if you have pain on the top of the shoulder, maybe down the side of the arm, stay tuned for today's exercises. Before I get into today's exercises, I want to mention that my new book is available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all the major book retailers. The book is 500 pages in length and has rehab programs for the 50 most common conditions that we see in physical therapy. Each chapter is organized by body region. So for instance, shoulder impingement has its own program. So if you open to the shoulder chapter, you'll see the shoulder impingement. Each program has information describing the condition, what it feels like, how long it takes to get better. And then the programs are all broken into 3 phases. This is just one phase, part of phase 2 and part of phase 3. But it has pictures of me doing the exercises and instructions for each exercise. So if you'd like a resource that has programs for the entire body like you'd get from a physical therapist, I will put the link down in the description. With shoulder impingement, people typically have pain when their arm goes away from their body and especially lifting overhead. They'll feel a sharp spot in here. We actually refer to it as a painful arc. So we want to work mobility here in the beginning, but if I have you just start lifting your arm, it might cause too much pain. So we're going to use the wall here to do something called a wall crawl to work on our shoulder flexion mobility, basically just being able to reach overhead. So what you're going to do here is put your arm, I'm going to pretend like my right arm's got the issue. I'm going to put my arm against the wall here and then just kind of crawl my hand up. The wall helps to take some of the effort off of my muscles and tendons so those sensitive structures don't have as much stress on them. So I can usually go through this mobility quite a bit easier when I use the wall as something to assist the movement. So you're just going to go up as high as you feel comfortable. If you hit a spot that hurts, then that's just your stopping point, and over time it should improve. As you get all the way to full range of motion, you'll be able to step to the wall and kind of turn your head and stretch your shoulder. Okay, so for this one, just go up and down like this. You can do a set of 10 repetitions and shoot for trying to do that 3 or 4 times out the day to work on your mobility. For our next exercise, we're going to move into full active range of motion. So we start with the wall, and that might be the only one you do mobility-wise in the beginning. As your pain starts to get better, we want to progress back to lifting the arm without any type of assist. So for active range motion, we're going to think about going away from our body. The first one here is abduction. So I'm going to go out to the side, leading with my thumb, and slowly go all the way up overhead as high as I can. Again, you might only get through partial range of motion. That's okay. Just look to increase over time. So you'll have abduction out to the side. And then I also want you to practice leading with the thumb again, but flexion up to the front. Now with both of these movements and the one we did against the wall, you want to make sure not to compensate with your shoulder blade. A lot of people, when they have shoulder pain, as they go to lift their arm, they'll shrug their shoulder and kind of move like this. So if you need to look in a mirror or have a friend help you, make sure to kind of think about just keeping your shoulder blade down a little bit. You don't have to lock it in really hard, but just think about keeping it down. We're looking to try and dissociate the shoulder joint from the shoulder blade a little bit. You don't want them to move together like this. So if you see that shoulder coming up towards your ear, that means you're compensating. Try to kind of keep it down. You can even go just look at your healthy side and look at how natural that movement is, and then try to replicate it on the other side. So for abduction, we're going up to the side. Flexion, we're going up to the front. We're going to do 10 repetitions of each one and 3 sets each day. For our next exercise, we're going to start strengthening the rotator cuff. A lot of times putting load and strengthening the rotator cuff muscles and tendons gradually can help to reduce pain and improve function. So for this one, you're going to take a piece of TheraBand and tie it on something at your house. This is a little bit higher than I'd want. I want the band to be basically tied straight out from my arm, but this is just convenient for my setup. You can buy TheraBand online, or you can also get TheraTubing. I'll put links for these in the description. You're going to take a small towel roll and put it in between your elbow and your side, and we're going to work on what's called shoulder external rotation. So I'm going to start with the band, my arm sort of against my stomach, and a little bit of tension on the band, and then I'm going to externally rotate out as far as I can go. Normally with this exercise, normal shoulder rotation range of motion is 70 degrees. So I should get 70 degrees of external rotation. So I'm gonna go in and out nice and slow with control, especially on the way back. Don't let the band snap you. Try to move with control. And this is technically a strengthening exercise. So we're gonna go for 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions. So the towel roll helps to protect the rotator cuff. It also ensures that you have pure rotation movement. If the towel roll is not there, sometimes people will try to move their arm away as they get tired. So if I have to kind of pinch that towel roll, it's going to make sure that my shoulder moves through pure external rotation. So again, 3 sets, 10 to 15 repetitions, and this will strengthen our rotator cuff and our shoulder external rotators. Our last exercise is called the full can, and we're gonna use a dumbbell for this one. So find a weight that's challenging but doesn't create more than mild pain. I've got a 5-pound dumbbell here, but you might only be starting with a pound or 2 depending on your symptoms. This exercise is gonna really target supraspinatus, which is the rotator cuff muscle that runs across the top and through the subacromial space. It's one of the structures that's most often implicated in shoulder impingement. So this exercise is a great one for strengthening that muscle and its tendon. What you're gonna do is start with your arm down at your side, and you're again gonna lead with your thumb. And I'm gonna take my arm out into the scaption plane, it's called, which is basically kind of a 45-degree angle. I'm not going straight to the front, and I'm not going straight to the side. I'm going to be kind of right in between. If I raised both arms, it would look like a V. So I'm just going to be doing one arm at a time. If you want to use 2 dumbbells and strengthen both arms at the same time, you can. But you're just going up, leading with your thumb, up to shoulder level, and then back down. Again, this is called the full can, because you imagine if you're holding a can, it would be upright. It's how you'd hold if it were full. We have another exercise called the empty can, but that one tends to cause more symptoms. So we're gonna start with this full can, up to shoulder level, nice and slow, controlled movement. And again, like the last exercise, this is a strengthening option, so we're gonna go for 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions. This can be done every day, but if you are sore or your symptoms kind of flare up, then maybe think about every other day. Okay, so those are 4 of the exercises we see in physical therapy that often help people with shoulder impingement or subacromial pain, it's called. These are just 4 of a number of exercises that might be prescribed. Again, the program, my book, has 15 or 16 exercises. It's going to be more comprehensive, but if you're looking for something quick, give these exercises a try. And please leave a comment if you have any questions, and I will try to get back to you. All right, you guys, see you in the next video. Bye.